Here's the finished doorway installed. It's a perimeter shot. There's the gap between the doors. The challenge with this project is I have two existing doors, 3 hinges in each, and I don't have the accompanying frame. Getting a new frame and threshold is not a problem. I've already done that. The critical part is to mortise the hinges into the new frame in precisely the right spots so that the doors sit in exactly the right position within the frame. It's not just a matter of getting them the correct distance apart, but they have to be the right height from the threshold and the right distance from the top of the frame as well. The doors have to sit perfect, which is probably within 20 thousandths of an inch or so. If you goof, you can always shift the hinge position up or down by making the mortise bigger, but then you'll have an oversized or repaired mortise which looks less than professional, so the pressure's on to get it right. This setup takes a lot of space. It lets me put the doors in the frame pieces in relation to one another. Hopefully it will let me make accurate measurements and make accurate marks. The client picked up these doors on Craigslist. They're beautiful doors, solid oak, solid wood, heavier than you can believe. And our challenge is to put a frame on it and mount it in the house. I purchased one of these last forever types of frames. It's a synthetic wood-based material that hopefully isn't going to decay. There's 3 pieces to it, the top and the 2 sides. Here they're screwed together. I used galvanized deck screws because I happen to have them. I think they'll be fine. I don't think these are going to get any real issues with moisture or anything, so they should last pretty much forever. How we built the frame was we mounted the doors on this sawhorse contraption. So there's sawhorses down, and I'll show you down this way. The sawhorses are sitting on a 2x4, then there's a 2x6 over there to get a little higher. Obviously the threshold is supposed to sit at the bottom of the doors here, and that's off being finished in another area. The polyurethane's drying on it. And then each door is suspended on 4 quart cans, 1 in each corner. So there's a quart can here, and then up in those 2 corners as well for each can. And on top of the 2x4s, we have these flat panel doors. These are interior doors, 78 inches tall, so placed sideways. These doors are tall a little bit more than these exterior doors are wide. Once we had everything set up, I built these spacer blocks. This is just a block of wood with a tongue on it, and these are a little more than 1/8 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch strong, and that was the planned gap between the 2 doors. On the hinge side, I built a similar block, but the tongue on this is about 80 thousandths because that matched the gap between the 2 leaves on the hinge when the hinge was quote-unquote in the closed position. And it was a little tricky to try to mill that on my table saw, and I came within, I don't know, 10 or 15 thousandths or so. But once we put the doors in place and we put the spacer blocks in place, then we could make very accurate measurements on this top piece of the frame. And when I cut that and screwed it together, it actually came out a little bit tight in this area, so I glued in a little thin strip of material and sanded it down till I was happy with that fit. And then we went to the other side, and I had a similar problem. When I cut this and put it in, it came out a little bit tight, so I had to glue in. This is actually a couple business cards just glued in there. So it only took about 10 thousandths of an inch or so, that's about the thickness of my cards, to go from way too tight to a little bit loose. So we're really battling thousandths of an inch for a perfect fit. But these spaces are pretty tight, so I wanted to get it as close as I could. Here's a view of the threshold on the door. Thanks for stopping by the shop and viewing my videos. I always appreciate it. Constructive feedback, always welcome. You know, I create these videos hoping that people will come by and hopefully it'll help them solve some of their own home improvement challenges. Probably do another video or 2 on this door, but this particular video kind of gives you the whole idea on how it was done. Thanks for stopping by, and let me know what you think.